says you don't have potential, and I say that respectfully. Never give up on yourself when someone projects spell work at you or make you feel you're not worthy or understanding faith that God endowed within you. You know, I don't push God on nobody, but respect's a two-way street. I'm far from a hey, I know how to respect my neighbor regardless of what you're going through, and I say that respectfully. I ain't gotta pretend to be somebody who you're not, and that's authentic. Hold on one second, we ain't the same, neighbor. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. I'm Naya, genuine, love, respect, and my content is not for everyone. Always be yourself and with intentions. Healing trauma and pain is not a race or an overnight process. And I say that respectfully. You are beautiful and you are handsome. They were stuck in between the lies. They was not allowing themselves to apologize. They was bowing the fact that hold on one second, someone was speaking up for themselves, keeping the real. You know that authenticity hits different. You know someone didn't have to paint a picture to be something they truly wasn't. Pretending, hold on one second, I didn't have to play with spell work. How folks had to throw beauty magic to discourage an innocent person because hold on one second, they understood confidence. Hold on one second, insecurity and live my vein. Hold on one second, elevation hits different when you overcome pain. You know, certain folks in different tax bracket while try to rob you mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, even try to make you homeless in the background because of their tax bracket. But hold on one second, I wasn't trying to wild out because God gave me balance when it comes to knowledge. That hold on one second. Yeah, I came from poverty and pain. I still have respect my neighbor. Whether in a storm, they would never understand that hold on one second. Our faith don't hit the same. It's a train of thought for me believing. You know, because it takes a hate train to discourage an innocent person. Someone actually put the footwork to understand their healing. You know, that obstacle that was truly real. It made certain folks feel mentally unstable only because someone truly understanding the beauty that started within. Hold on one second, you truly have potential. Never give up on yourself, and I say that respectfully because someone had to pretend to be somebody truly wasn't. You know, because this type of stuff actually happens. Whether in the storm, they wanted to do you wrong. You know, you wasn't running from that testimony, but hold on one second. You asked God to bring you balance when it comes to knowledge. You know, it's truly power at the end of the day. That's why they try to discourage you because you was truly keeping the real. You spoke up for yourself when the bullies tried to discourage you. Had different folks in different tax bracket living your next door neighbor in different tax bracket telling you everyone like a bad habit. You know, like the dude on the bus, the dude on that bike that day, the dude at the corner store. He'd be the train of thought for how they try to dim your light. They try to project a hate train towards you. You know, the hate crime is real only till it becomes you become the victim. Now hold on one second. They wait until it's RIP by your name. Damn. When is it going to be changed? You know, it should never have to wait till someone is screaming justice for a child at the end of the day because that's God's baby. That it doesn't matter how old that baby is, let alone the tax bracket. It'd be the train of thought for me. How a blessing wasn't that baby's curse. That blessing was that baby's blessing. You know, a lesson that they can't relate to. That hold on one second. That wasn't a fleck. It wasn't hold on one second. Someone shortchanging them and they mental health. I may not make sense to the average person, but you wanted someone to be a non-existence. You got folks in the background doing come to me spells, playing with black magic in a dark way, playing with spoken in a toxic way, you know, even playing with spoke towards innocent people to paint them be mentally unstable. But hold on one second, that's how confusion starts to happen in a neighborhood, all because of the fact that certain folks want to look at someone in a light that hold on one second, that innocent person wasn't trying to dim their light. You know, this type of stuff actually happens, right? How your next door neighbor in different tax bracket, right, will put a casting spell on you just to confuse you. You don't even know you under the illusion of being mentally unstable. How you created a hate train towards somebody, you don't even have to know them. Only realize the hold on one second, it was truly a reality. Only realize the hold on one second, you asking for forgiveness, but it's too late. You know, because we may not pray the same, but I actually hope that you find peace within. How this type of stuff happens when folks try to ruin your reputation. They called me a crack at it, but I was far from that. I had this motherfucker with jealousy and tendencies at the end of the day, because jealousy and envy was real, or because of the fact that I knew how to truly keep it real, to walk away from something that truly wasn't for me. I ain't even have to sleep with the bitch. He be the train of thought for me. How this type of shit actually happens. No, and the train of thought. You know, you don't gotta sleep with somebody for someone to feel, damn, I'm jealous of you. I want to shortchange your mental health to have so much excuses. Nah, it be train of thought for me. I knew how to weather the storm that you can relate to, having self-control when it comes to discipline. I don't worship the devil good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. You know, jealousy and envy is real. How certain folks will dibble and dabble with your food and your drinks and even your narcotics. And you don't have to do nothing to them. You know, when they make something legal and then they say it shouldn't be legal because it should be no reason why somebody should be shortchanging a neighbor when we trying to allow you to do something legally from going from unillegally. Like, come on, make it make sense. Like, why are you trying to shortchange people at the end of the day with malicious intentions? Because you jealous at the end of the day. You know, the last person wasn't able to tell a story. They lost their life because someone had lack of soul control and it came to discipline. Yeah, you didn't have your moms in your household, your little on your pops to raise you, but that didn't make an excuse to shortchange someone, a vision you can relate to. That was confidence. You decided to pick and choose who you wanted to bully to dim their light because you didn't understand how they fixed their crown and they didn't have to wild out. You know, I may not make sense to the average person, and that's okay. You know, they had me shadow banned. They hacked my devices to blackmail me against me. And one thing I would never do is hurt myself, and I say that respectfully. How you got your next door neighbor, different tax brackets, sending you chaos, confusion, spell work, or sending you spell work to paint you out to be mentally unstable, or painting you out to be something that you're truly not. You know, because people pick and choose who could talk about spirituality. People pick and choose who could talk about God. People pick and choose who could talk about healing. People pick and choose who could talk about fitness, you know, weight loss, narcotics, violence, domestic violence. People pick and choose who can talk about these topics. But when you keep it real, you know, talking about spirituality, like this shit is truly real. You know, the last person wasn't able to tell a story. They live in fear right now. They can't even talk up for themselves. You know, they truly mentally unstable. You know, because that last person within that last person or that last person decided to do something to the last person. And they now, hold on one second, can't tell a story. But one thing I don't do is live in fear. And I'm a testimony only to keep it real. That hold on one second, you can overcome spell work in the most healthiest way. Put it in God's hands. You know, because someone threw beauty spell at me at the end of the day. Little and he dibbled and dabbled with my belongings. You know, and then they try to pay me out to be mentally unstable. And they in the background trying to make me homeless. Or whatever the case may be. But hold on one second. I believe in one thing. The high power. That's my Heavenly Father, God, and Mother. You know, I love me. They said God not real, but God truly allowed me to see. You know, I don't live in fear. I don't fear no man or no one man that believe like me. We may not have the same blood type, but I know how to respect my neighbor. You know, when someone tells you that nobody's going to believe you, God saw when they tried to humiliate you. God saw when they stole from you. God saw when they had malicious intentions. And you know that you wasn't thinking that you was better than anybody. But one thing for certain, two things for certain is taking accountability for your actions. That is just different. But hold on one second, we ain't the same. How this type of stuff actually happens when folks be competing. Like, hold on one second, didn't you do that day? No, I'm a child of God at the end of the day. God showed me what you was doing behind closed doors. When I picked up the phone, you was on the other line tapping my device. You know, watching my every move. You know, you putting a device in my crib or whatever the case may be to pay me out to be mentally unstable. You know, because folks pick and choose who could talk about this stuff. And then they say that you're mentally unstable. Then they have you shadow banned. So hold on one second. They can paint you out to be crazy. But God should had a better plan. You know, everybody's not for you when it comes to your journey. But hold on one second. I was never competition when it comes to faith elevation. That is just different. You know, being authentic. How folks will hack your devices and tell you about you because they done watch your notes. Or they watch what you was watching, observing what you watching. So they can talk about you. That they act like you know, they know you. They go back to 2017, 2018 and go to this year, that year, who in your contents, or let alone who you was sleeping with, or who you had a conversation with, just to say at the end of the day, they know you, but they don't. This type of stuff actually happens when it comes to gang stalking. I don't hack folks' devices. Be a train of thought for me. How you truly got potential is full at you like competition. Elevation is different. I love myself. I didn't have to pretend. It's a train of thought for me. You know, when God sends the right people into your life, it's a two-way street. How your neighbor will control your life. And I mean like right now. Or your phone call, or who can see you, or who can't see you, and then paint you out to be mentally unstable. But you know, when God reveals the devil on the enemy, why would I live in fear at the end of the day? When I'm truly keeping it real, I prayed to go within and ask for answers, and I got the clarity that I needed that day. You know, when folks throw sport at you, everybody's not the same when it comes to their walk of like, oh, I'm coming healing. I didn't have to discourage your neighbor. I knew how to respect my neighbor. Was far from a hater, neighbor. We not the same neighbor. You threw sport at me in a toxic way. I asked God for guidance. God allowed me to see when I prayed. It actually worked that day. It was a miracle. I put my hands in the right person's hands that day. That was the doctor actually healing me. They said it's going to take some time to overcome this pain. But the wounds that end of the day, trust and believe. You gonna understand why you believed in your faith. It's scars, it's bumps. At the end of the day, it's gonna go away, my child. The energy is different because God brought the right person into your life to show you why you continue to smile. Never get discouraged because insecurity never lived in your vein. They would never understand we didn't never have to pray the same. But I still know how to respect my niggas I never had in my vein. You know, folks throw spurgers in the toxic way. Folks be like this, like, wasn't you? You was not like that the other day. You know, it's been over a week now. It's just about to be. It's been from the 31st till today. It's only the 3rd. So the 31st, wow, not even 5 days. It be the train of thought for me how this stuff been going on. And one thing I never did have to do myself wrong. Fall from a crash out. Just being authentic. Something that you can relate to. I truly hope that you heal within, neighbor. I would never hurt myself regardless who's trying to hack my devices or who's behind hacking my devices or who's projecting spark on me. I don't live in fear, and I'm not scared of no man, no woman, or standing up for myself, and I say that respectfully. I walk these streets alone. I don't call mommy and daddy. I call them God. My heavenly mother and father, God. So you doing what you're doing in the background to hurt me, try to discourage me, at the end of the day, I do not live in fear. When God sends the right people into your life, respect's a two-way street. It's disgusting to see how individuals in different tax brackets will pay certain individuals to bring harm towards you, to project a hate train towards you, or not even just a hate train, to project a hate crime towards you, or to rob you mentally, physically, spiritually, or financially. Because of their tax bracket, they're able to control the narrative, get rid of the body. Ain't nobody gonna believe you anyway. They gonna paint you out to be a crack addict or dope fiend. Or because someone dibbled and dabbled in your narcotics that day and you was far from a fiend at the end of the day, been clean all this time since the last time you actually was on that type of time. It be the train of thought from you. You didn't have to pretend to be somebody you truly wasn't or authentic. You saw the bullshit for what it was. God didn't confuse you because God was really showing you don't abuse yourself another day when it comes to your mental health because I got your back. Don't worry about these karmics, let alone that tarot reader, let alone, hold on one second, that practitioner, let alone your next door neighbor in a different tax bracket that's watching your every move, telling everybody to paint you out to be the mental patient at the end of the day because folks pick and choose who could talk about God, let alone spirituality. But hold on one second, your existence does matter to the right people. Don't give up on yourself another day. I'm Naya, genuine love, respect, and I would never hurt myself, and I say that respectfully. You are beautiful, you are handsome, you are you're worthy. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. How your neighbor will send spell work towards you, and you don't live in fear. They monitor your mail to see when you get money or not. They monitor when you get your packages to dibble and dabble to see what you got going on, just to tell the next person. To make a scene at the end of the day, a contract you was never part of. Someone wants to look like the superhero when they was trying to bring harm towards you from the jump. They was trying to rob you mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially until they wanted to become the saver hoe. It be the train of thought for me, the one that said that your voice ain't gonna matter because they're gonna have a whole community go up against you. And one thing I don't have to do is lie at the end of the day, regardless of your distraction. I say that respectfully. I would never hurt myself, and I say that respectfully. When God sends the right people into your life, never give up on yourself, and I say that respectfully. Have a safe year, day, evening, week, weekend. You man and you're worthy. Loving yourself is not a crime, and I say that respectfully. When God sends the right people into your life, respect's a two-way street. It's never competition. They acting their body weight, not their shoe size. God didn't tell a lie when elevation hits different. Folks actually respecting you when you can't even see. Hold on one second. It was never blackmailing you against you to get you locked to put you in this sideboard to create a hate train. We all not the same when it comes to elevation. You know, you're not wrong for being your authentic self. Always be yourself. It's disgusting to see how folks will see that you have potential and that you have beautiful features, but the love always started within first. And when love starts within first, they will never understand. I'm not going to hurt me because you want me to hurt me to be a crash out. You want me to hurt me to be discouraged. You want me to hurt me not to love me. You want me to hurt me not to see. But God's vision is different. I don't worship the devil. Good day, bad day, or misunderstanding day. Peace and respect, your neighbor. Stop the voice. Ready, damn your light. Go your neighbor, damn your light. 9:04 p.m. and it's currently August 3rd, 2025. And I'm closing out this video, 1422 with 4 people that just like this video. And I say this respectfully. I would never hurt myself, and I say that respectfully. It's disgusting to see how you speak up for yourself and you got your community or different folks in different tax brackets trying to make you homeless, rob you mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and then hack your devices and try to blackmail you against you because you're speaking up for yourself. Always be yourself with no malicious intention. I say that respectfully. Because when God sends the right people into your life, respect's a two-way street. I am beautiful and I love myself, and I say that respectfully. I didn't have to pretend to be something I truly wasn't, and I'm far from a comic. When you hack my device to lie on my name. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. This type of stuff happens to people every single day, and they don't have a voice. But you matter and you are worthy because gang stalking is real. And especially when you're not doing it for likes and views or cloud chasing or fame. We're not the same. Always be yourself with no malicious intentions. How someone will hack your devices and try to blackmail you against you is really disrespectful. How they monitor when you come in and going, have you under surveillance, just to use you against you and say, no, I would never do such a thing. I don't live in fear, and I say that respectfully, far from descending. 9:06 p.m. Peace and respect your neighbor, stop the bonds. I don't worship the devil good day, bad day, or misunderstanding day. I worship the good God with no malicious intentions. I know how to respect my neighbor and I have hate in my vein. Always be yourself. I'm not using respect. We're not